I don't know if you might not want to. You know,
No, I don't. We're good friends. It's fine.
Because it's mad. Like, literally, I can, like I said to you before, yeah. If I had met like Richard Branson,
Yeah.
like I won't say I'll lose composure, but like, yo, this is RB, you know.
Not RB.
I'm like, hey, this is a bit mad. Like, what did I say? What did I do? I might just be like, yeah. So, have you had water today? Just say shit, because I won't know what to do. Like, if you met whether it's Richard Branson, anyone right now, would you think you'd be composed? Would you?
Well, I probably wouldn't know what to say, but obviously I'll just, listen.
Yeah, no, I think I'll be like, another thing, like, let's just say you were related to Richard Branson, yeah. I was saying to Cassandra, listen, I'm exploring that. Yeah, this anyway.
You take me to this
I'll
island.
be in Starbucks. Yeah. So yeah. Can I get a latte? Yes. It's Jermaine Branson. Yeah. oh, is it? Yeah. No,
Branson.
I don't like to talk much.
Yeah, that is me.
Yeah. So,
I am his son.
What can I say? But don't worry, I'm still gonna pay for the coffee. Don't worry. But listen, because I was saying, because I feel like sometimes, yeah, like, obviously I kind of get when people think of nepotism, yeah, it's like, oh, you know, people got a leg up or they got a hand out. Listen, why not? If my family was rich and I'm using I'm going through every door they carried me through.
Debit card.
I'm doing it because obviously I won't take advantage of it, but I'll use it to my advantage. If I know, like, for example, I've got my family is a big name. Everywhere I go, I'll use it to my leverage. I won't. It's mad because sometimes you get some people where they have, like, I don't want to say they're useless, yeah, but they have a famous name, but it's like they're the clown of the family. Classic example. No, classic example. You know, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
You know his son, Chet Hanks.
Oh my God, the one that speaks Jamaican.
Hey, this guy is clown. And you know, most time I don't know if he's trolling or not. You know.
No, sometimes I'm like.
No, because one time he was like, oh, he's like, what type of woman do you like? What type of woman do you like? He's like them tick. Them up. He was like, I'm thinking,
Stop lying.
Like, what you do? No, but I think he does, like, because
is his girlfriend's tick and firm up?
His girlfriend, yeah, she's black. She's black enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was like, I never would expect that, because like when I see Tom Hanks, yeah, I was like, it doesn't
correlate.
No.
But the thing is, that's another thing. Obviously, as well, we get confused with people's persona.
Yeah.
On like Tom Hanks, maybe he is like that. Do you get it?
Nah, man.
No, maybe he is.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
No, listen.
In his because that's what I'm saying. We get confused with
Tom Hanks ain't saying one of them tick and firm.
Yeah, he might be.
No, he's definitely, he's definitely not saying that. But
I don't imagine him saying it.
But again, maybe because he's Tom Hanks' son, he does whatever he wants because he has that freedom to. Because yeah, my dad's, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'll be on. I'm not saying I'll be doing stupid saying that I want them tick and firm, but I'm saying I'll be using that name to my advantage in a good way. Like, why not? I don't be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna take the name because I don't want. Listen, give it to me. I'm gonna take it. Some people are like, oh, I don't want people to know that I'm associated to. Listen.
Most people that I know that have those sort of names don't want to be associated. I think that's so strange, but maybe because you are it, so you don't need to. Do you get it?
Especially like even when you think of acting, yeah, a lot of those actors, there's a lot of family relative, like, you know, obviously the what's that guy that done for? Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all these brothers, they were actors. The younger one, I think the younger one was married to Miley Cyrus. You know, Julia Roberts. You know, she's got a niece. Her niece is an actress as well. That girl that was in Emily in Paris. Mm-hmm. Her dad's not actor, but her dad's Phil Collins, isn't it?
Oh, singer.
So you know that have you seen that Cadbury advert, the gorilla?
Yeah.
See, her dad sang that song in it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. Oh. But that's what normally happens, and we don't realize. That's like, what's his name? Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah.
And he's done all the movies right now.
Needy,
you don't think he's? That's very rude.
No, okay, like
I'm clapping it out. I don't want him to think.
No, but the thing is, yeah. I don't know.
What do you mean? Have you not seen that film that he done as a police officer? He was
what? Tenet.
Yeah, not Tenet. Tenet. I don't even understand that film.
Was it Beckett? Was it Beckett or Tenet? Something.
It's called Tenet. You're talking about the right film. There's another film he did before where he was like a police officer.
Black Klansman.
That's it, Black Klansman.
Oh yeah, I heard
that film was cold. The Tenet, I didn't get it. I just didn't understand the film.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not.
The film was meaty. Tenet was meaty.
So you don't think he's immediate?
He's a sick actor.
Okay, what would you give him out of 10? Name for at least 5 movies of his that are great.
I don't know.
Is that what I'm saying? What I'm saying?
No, but he's new. What do you mean? He's
That's
his
what I'm
son.
saying,
He
that's
just
what I'm-
came. What do you want him to be doing?
I know it's mad.
I think he used to play NFL as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
Before.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad at it. Listen, your dad's Denzel, and listen, I'm doing the same too, man. I'm not shying away from it. I think like he's just no. The reason I said that because I think Denzel tried to act like he's like, oh, what's his dancing Idris?
Dancing Idris.
Dancing Idris. He's taking the mick.
He was taking the mick.
Dancing
But
Idris?
Damson,
You're taking a pick.
Damson was like, yeah, call me Dancing Idris from now on.
Like he's taking, but to be fair, maybe Jenny didn't know him.
I don't think he knew who he was.
Like people thought that maybe it was a bit.
But that was a bit rude though. The way he did it, I think it was rude. I think he was like, they were like, yeah, have you heard about the new? He could have been like, oh, that's amazing. I would love to get to know him. He's like, dancing.
Yeah, no,
Dancing
he was taking
Oh,
the mick,
boy.
and I think
That's in a dress. That's what he was going to dance in a dress.
yeah, no, but I think Damson even kind of took it like it just kind of played
Brushed it
along
off,
with as
yeah,
well,
he just-
like, but no, I think that the nepotism is good, man, because I'm sure that would like, not that I'm sure, but like when your child is maybe like say 16, 17, it's like, Mom, I want to do this, and you have the resources, I'm sure you're gonna do it. As in when your child gets to a certain age, yeah, and he wants to do maybe A, B, or C, and you have the means and resources.
Definitely. I want to be that mum that's like, you don't have to, be anything you want, son. You want to be I don't know, like work at a circus, you can. That's how I want to be.
It's not work at no damn circus. We're clapping that one out. You know, damn boy ain't work at no damn circus.
Yeah, clown boy.
He could be. No, I do.
He's gonna be a juggler.
Yeah, you want to be a juggler, son? Yeah, be a juggler. Like,
Mommy, I'm going to clown school. Damn clown school.
I want to be a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess that's what it is, though. I feel like obviously, I'm like, we're not parents yet, but I feel like when we were growing up, there was like a lot of, I would say, pressure on our parents, especially a lot of us coming from like, you know, like broken homes, single families. So like having the mum doing it all alone. And I feel like sometimes, again, I'm not trying to downplay it because our parents did work hard, but that narrative or that story is sort of like praise, isn't it? Oh, you know, single mum, you come from a single parent household, like, yeah, this is obviously not because it's not a fault of your own, I'm trying to say, but I feel like, can you imagine like mentally how our parents I can't even compute how they did it, because it must be hard.
I can't compute how they did it.
Like, and I guess obviously you said your mum was laid back, but of course, I don't know, did you ever speak about, you know, oh mum, how's your mental health, like, you know, how are you, like, you know, how can I make life easier for you?
Never. And I was even thinking about this the other day. I was talking to my friend. I'm like, I think our parents really must have suffered with mental health. They had to have, because they didn't have what we have, and they did. And I only have one child. My mum had 4, and she was a single parent and had to do all of that and work and be happy. And I don't know how. I'm always like, they must have struggled in that area, because I didn't see it as a thing growing up. I wasn't like, oh, how's my mum's mental? Like, but I feel like that's a question that my son will probably ask me as he gets older, because it's so much more spoken about.
Yeah. And that's what's good, because of course at the time growing up, I just thought, yeah, mum's handling everything.
Yeah, my mum's fine.
I've got red bars, food, eat, and like even sometimes I'll be like, okay, you know, when as a kid, you don't really care about anything. Your mum could be stressed out. You think, yeah, what we'll have for breakfast today. you know, she's down well getting. You can see she's getting stressed. You're just thinking like, oh, what we're gonna eat. But again, not to say that we were well, I can't really speak for myself. Not to say that I was being selfish, but I didn't know about
we're
what
children,
was mental health.
isn't it?
I mean, we're children. So like,
we didn't even speak. When did you speak about mental health? Like that's a to me, like that's a very new term. Like I didn't, even in school, I don't remember being like, yes, our teachers asking us about our mental health.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't like, I feel like it wasn't quite spoken about, and even if we did speak about it, maybe it would have helped, because again, I for one wouldn't been moving, getting in trouble and stuff, because I knew, okay, listen, because my mom used to tell me, listen, you're not gonna kill me of high blood pressure, you know. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, what's she saying these stuff?
These random things that parents will just randomly say, innit?
no,
Yeah.
Why are you saying this? And even then, I still don't feel guilty. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. But you don't actually understand because stressing a parent out, yeah. From I don't know, I wouldn't know because I'm not a parent, but I can imagine it's mentally you must be going. It's a lot.
When you become a parent, I think you really want to say sorry to your parents.
I'm sorry, mum, for all that would have
You
happened.
really get it. And obviously I didn't have the chance to do that because my mum had passed, but I was like, I was so horrible. Like in my head, I was like, oh my, because I didn't understand. Obviously, I might have been going through my own thing, just being a teenager, young person, whatever. But she was also going through her own things. And I just didn't understand what that meant when I was growing up. I just look at her and be like, oh yeah, look, she's handling, you know what you're saying about handling everything.
Yeah.
But now as I'm handling things, I'm like, oh, this is a lot of pressure. And just because it looks like you're doing it well doesn't mean it's not pressure.
Yeah, but how do you deal with the pressure though?
What, being a parent now?
Yeah.
I think, as I'm saying, it's such a different age to where my mum was. I feel like now for me, making sure I have time for myself. So luckily for me, weekends, my son is with his dad.
Yeah.
So I get time to be just Cass. Therapy, talking things through. Because, and I feel like maybe, even when I was growing up, when I think about it, and I think I was my mum's therapist.
Really?
When I actually think about it, yeah, I was. Like, she would talk to me about everything. Whereas now, I wouldn't want to put that, because of how my mum was, I wouldn't want to put that pressure on my son. I would never be just having a conversation with him about how I'm feeling in that way. So I feel like, yeah, therapy has really helped.
Yeah.
And just I feel like now as well with Lion, I have to let him know, especially at bedtime. I'm like, yes, mummy time now. Mummy's gonna have her time.
So you go sleep.
So you need to go to your bed. Do you get it? So I feel like I have those like mummy time. I feel like I'm more clear with him, even though he's still young. I'm still clear with him that no, this is mummy's time. Or I'll be drinking a drink and he'll be like, "Can I have some?" I'm like, no, this is mummy's one. Special drink for mummy. Like I feel like I have time for me.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the thing. I feel like a lot of the time, you know, like how can I explain this now? Yeah, like when I don't know if it's so much with guys, yeah, but I feel like a lot of the time when like a woman has for example, a woman has a child, whether they're of some sort of public figure influence and they're just living life normally, like I feel like people kind of put them on this pedestal. Oh, you're a mum now, so you need to act a certain way, you need to do this a certain way, or you can't behave like that anymore. Like, did you ever have those moments?
What do you mean? As in
people, maybe not so much directly, maybe indirectly, or people coming to you in person saying, "Look, like you need to, you're a mum now. You can't not to assume that you was doing certain things, but you can't. You got to move a certain way now because you're a mum." Did you ever have that mentality, or did you feel like people were?
I don't think
came to you and said that.
I don't think anyone necessarily said it, but I think that thing of like I feel like people have that thing in their head that obviously, yeah, but you know your child has to come first. So like, say if it would be like more things I would kind of hear if I'm out. It would be like, oh, where's your son? So like, if you see my ex-partner, you're not going to be asking him, where's your son? People don't ask that usually to men. That's a real woman thing. Like, oh, where's your son? When you're out at a party, when he's not here, is he? It's like,
but yeah, he's sipping on Red Bull in the corner, right?
Do you get it? That's not like really something.
Well, I gotta say hello.
Those things are kind of annoying sometimes. It's like, oh, where's your son? Like, what do you want me to say to that? Like,
you're in the dance. Oh yeah, where's your son? Yeah, he's at the back.
He's local.
Like,
do you get it? Or stuff like, obviously, it's like if I want to do something, it'll be like, yeah, but you've got a child. Like you've got a son, like and I'm like, yeah, but I still want to do things.
It's funny, yeah, because it's like the reception, like you get, because the guys are like, yeah, my guy, congrats on the birth, bro. You won't ask them, yo, where's your son at? Yeah, my guy, yo, like you're out tonight, yeah, okay, cool. But baby's at home, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you have, there's no like, you get all the leeway in the world because because I guess maybe we don't do it intentionally, but. Because with guys, that's like, okay, no, I'm not saying this is a fact, but I just feel like with guys, yeah, there's never, oh yeah, rah, you just had a baby, what? And even if you're out the next day, okay, rah, that's
look, a perfect one. I was invited to go on holiday for like, it was a day trip. It was a day holiday. So there was I think that's Stormzy was having like an event for his birthday, and he just had it like a 1 day. So he was gonna come back the same day. So you fly there and like...
was it the the air Stormzy thing.
Yeah. So you,
Uh,
so you flew there, and then you
we
come.
need some links, you know. Swear down.
So we was invited. I was invited. Lion's dad was invited. But obviously, I was like, I just had a baby maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So he was telling me, because that's obviously Stormzy's sister, I'm close with her. So he was telling me, go, like, you go, you
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
like, it's fine.
Carl was saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
go, have fun. And I was like, how would that look? I just had a baby 2.5 weeks ago. I'm gonna go, even though it's a day, people are gonna be like, where's your baby? That's what they're gonna.
But the thing is, but where does that come from though? That oh, why is that?
Because that's just what people. That's what I'm saying. And I was telling him to go, and he was like, "No, he don't want to go." But I'm like, that's what people do. It's like, I don't know. It's almost like a responsibility they think you should have. Like, why would you be how careless? And even though to me now, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. If the father's there, there's milk, there's enough. Why wouldn't I not go? But that's that's me now. But at the time, I was like, I can't go. I'm gonna look so reckless. Like, just
yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. But because I know it happens, we shouldn't think like that. It shouldn't be a case from a guy and a girl. It shouldn't be a case. Oh, like, you know, why are you doing this? Because I feel like mentally that puts a lot of pressure on you, and to feel like you have to act a certain way.
yeah.
Or like, oh, it's noble of you to be at home. Yeah, but you're the father of the child. He's out there like having fun. You're like, yeah, I have to stay at home. I have to stay at home with the kid. It's the noble thing to do. But it's like, and things people will talk, and I guess that some people don't really, they don't really, some people don't really share the news online. But even if you shouldn't, like, you should be able to share anything you want, especially if you've had a child or show your child, and you shouldn't be like met with, oh, you got a child, you're doing
always
that.
out, man.
But
She's
they might
always.
not say it to your face, but behind your back.
Yeah.
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 All
Especially if you obviously I feel like when I'm seen to be out a lot, it's like, so
Right, yeah.
again, yeah.
One of the ones where like it won't even be direct. Oh, you're out again, aren't you? Oh, okay. Like just the indirect ones. But then again, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's. I guess to be fair, maybe again I wouldn't know. Maybe like we should do this from dad's perspective, bring on someone. But I feel like maybe there are things from a guy's perspective who is a dad, and they might feel some pressures. But I do see a lot from the woman's perspective where like they're told certain things, or like even down to like clothes, like, oh, you're wearing that,
But the clothes you wear,
like, oh, you're a mum now, so you
Yeah.
but man, them can still,
Wear whatever they want.
you know what I mean, it's not to say like, yeah, man was wearing people wearing crazy stuff, but it's almost like that's how deep it gets, because even policing your clothes, and before you know it, you can feel like you're in some mental prison. I'm like, I can't even be myself, because I have to be a mum. So like, would you say your mum first or your Cass first?
Cass first.
But some might say you should put your children first. Why is it your son?
I understand. I feel like to be the best mum, you have to make sure you're in a good place. Otherwise, if I said that, oh, I'm not Cass first, then I'm not gonna be the best mum, if that makes sense. Because I'm gonna be feeling like, that's where I feel like you can start feeling like, what's the word? Almost like, not bitterness, but like, I always say there's never a before you was a mum, but I'm Cass.
Okay.
Do you get it? There's never.
Yeah.
I'm a mum now, so regardless whether or not my child is always going to be on my mind. Like, that's just who I am. That's just natural. But in terms of what I do with myself, in terms of my mental health, I'm like, no, I have to be in a great mental space to be able to be a great mum. And that's where I think a lot of times people don't. Maybe our parents before, it was like they was trying to be all this stuff for their children, but at the same time, because their mental health was affected, they weren't even able to be the best parents at times, if that makes sense.
Yeah, almost like you can't neglect yourself, and that goes with anything, Like, you even just simply as doing this, if we're not in a good mental space, then I probably won't be as comfortable as we are. Or like, you know what I'm trying to say, you probably wouldn't be in a position to talk to a free. So mental health will always come first. But the thing is, and again, I'm not saying everything exists online or social media, but that's where we see a lot of these things where people don't even think like they just think, oh, right, they just see automatically, because like we thrive off of just negativity. Like we want to find something to complain about. For example, like you said, Stormzy's party, Carl was saying go. If you went now, people won't even know. People are like, oh, right, so that's a bit mad. She's going to this party. What does a man think of this? But he said go.
Yeah.
But people don't see that. People only see, oh, right, you at the party. Wow. He's gave birth 2 days ago. But the thing is, like, a man can have a baby and it can, for example, like a man can, so whether it's a celebrity, can have a baby and he's back on tour again. No one's gonna ban Ireland. Like Serena Williams had a baby, came back and still was, I don't know what, and she still won. But the thing is, people be like, "Raw, the people say that, oh, raw, that's mad."
Yeah,
that's some
well,
superwoman
that's
level.
yeah.
Like, and I think that's another thing as well. Like that can be damaging, is this whole like strong black woman narrative. Like, because sometimes oh yeah, you're so
I
strong,
hate
man.
that narrative.
You're
Oh.
carrying it so well.
Oh.
But it's kind of like, yeah. From your point of view, what damage do you think that does to
Too much damage.
to your mental health?
What, the strong? Because it makes you
Narrative,
feel
yeah.
like you can never be emotional. You always have to be strong. I feel like even in the sense of, even when I was having Lion, I think that's strong. So when I had Lion, I was in labor from the day before. I didn't know. And I got to the hospital and basically everyone was using that strong black woman narrative with me. Is in the sense of, I was like, I'm in pain, and it was like, oh, trust me, she's not, it's not that bad. So like everyone I was with was kind of like going into that. It would be like, I was like, I'm in pain, and it'll be like, no, trust me, she's not in labor yet. Because if she was in labor, you would know. She would be like screaming and she would be doing this. So she's not. And then it got to the point where I think my friend realized that that's something that happens to you when you're having a baby, like your mucus plug. She was like, no, but Cass, I think your mucus plug. So it's like something that comes out just before you have a baby. So she realized that, oh, maybe your mucus plug has come out. And I was like, oh, okay. And then on the way to the hospital now, just before we left, it was like, no, trust me. Like my other friend was telling Carl, no, trust me, she's not in labor.
Yeah.
Then we got to the hospital. The nurses was telling me, no, what, is this her first baby? She's not in pain. Like, she's fine, trust me. And I was in so much pain that when the nurse checked me, because obviously they were saying, has my water broke? Your water's technically what breaks, and then that's how you know the baby's coming. But my water hadn't broke. So she checked me and my water broke as she checked me. And then she was like, oh, like you're 10 centimeters dilated. That's the...
I feel like that's always a standard phrase. Like, what, like,
so,
dilation means, like.
So 10 centimeters dilated means you're ready. The baby's, you're the big enough size for the baby to come out.
So like, if it's like, say 20.
So you're supposed to go to the hospital at 3 centimeters.
Oh, really? So if you're at 10, that's cool.
At 10 is the baby's coming out. So your contraction,
okay.
So at like when you're like 1 centimeter, they're like, okay,
that's cool,
you can stay at home. Like they're kind of, it's like your contractions have started, but you're 1 centimeter. Then when you get to 3, they say, okay, yeah, come in. You're in the hospital. They're checking you, and they're just checking as the centimeters are going up. And then when it gets to 10, you are now ready to push the baby out.
Okay.
At
so
10
basically,
centimeters.
if you're at 10 and you're not at hospital, then you have to give birth there.
There.
Okay.
So I got to the hospital at 10. So all up until that point, I was in so much, but to everyone, it's like, yeah, but you're a strong black woman. Like how I'm carrying myself, it's like, yeah, because you're a strong black woman, so you're fine. Like that little, that's not enough. That's not pain. You sure you're in pain? That kind of like, yeah, you sure? You sure you're not? And then when I got to the hospital, the woman was like, oh, Lion came out within 6 minutes. Do you get it? So and it was like, oh,
so even as the narrative, oh right, 6 minutes, yeah, you're strong.
Do you get it? But it's like, yeah, I'm not. It's not that I'm strong. I just did it because that's what. But of course, I would want to be in the hospital at 3 centimeters and get in the, oh, it's okay, and the water and the gas and air.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah,
some more towels.
Do you get what I'm saying? But because I'm the strong black woman, look, she carried herself all the way to.
Yeah, like you be there. Yeah, you need more. No, she don't need more towels.
Yeah,
she's strong, man. Then there'll be, like, oh, you okay?
Do you understand?
And you're all right.
Even when I got there, because there was like people screaming, there was people like, ah! And they're only 3 centimeters. And because I'm not and I was screaming, I was in so much, I couldn't even see. And she was like, oh, come on, Cassandra, just come on. Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm in pain. I couldn't, like, I was hallucinating or something. But again, because I'm a black woman, it's like, she's strong, man. She's just, come on, she's fine.
Where do you think that stereotype comes from, though? Because obviously you see it in the media, and obviously Love Island's on, and obviously you see a black woman coming on, and obviously people are going to have some, preconceived ideas of, well, I wonder what she's like.
I sometimes think, is it also, I feel like now we'll get, you keep hearing this soft life
Yeah,
stuff.
see, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really. Also, I don't understand it, but
Soft life.
maybe we can break it down for us.
No, so I saw like the meaning of it is basically like, because the black women have gone through so much in terms of that black, like, oh, you're so strong.
Yeah.
Now we're all claiming soft life. Like, we don't want to hear like, oh, you're strong, or like, if we want to just cry, if you don't, we deserve to have our emotions considered, to just be living the best, most luxurious life. Why do we have to do that struggle stuff to be strong? No, that doesn't.
Like, it's like almost where. But you know what's crazy? Like, it's not about men, but I feel like men and women do it as well, because there's also like that strength thing from a guy's perspective where like you just gotta be tough, man. You can't even be mediocre or like, and that's I feel like in some cases as black people we can't be mediocre. It's like the whole like you gotta work 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be the next guy. He's just the medius of the medius, but he gets through.
Mm-hmm.
Can be there. But if you want to, but I'm not saying we should all try to be average. But if you want to be, why not? I'm gonna say why can't we be average?
I just think, especially even what you're saying about in terms of like where's that narrative from? I feel like if I think about my mum, she to me is the epitome of a strong black woman. But I just feel like that's because that's what she had to be. It's not that you don't want to just cry, how can, like, do you get it? If you're looking after 4 children, you're a single mom, you can't just break down and start crying. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like now, we kind of have done it to ourselves. And I also feel like sometimes as black men with black women, they can kind of carry on the narrative because they're so used to seeing what their mum did. Like, I'll be carrying 10 black. Yeah, but you can carry that bag. You're fine, man. My mum used to carry 50, like, from Sainsbury's. Do you get it? Whereas if it will be like, oh no, like, I think it's that kind of like just carrying it on. Like, oh no, you're fine. Like, what do you mean? You work, have a baby, do this, da, da, da. What's wrong with that? That's normal.
But do you feel like, because I know like what Ben was saying, like, where it stems from, but do you feel like it's up to like us, and when I say us, maybe the black men, with their partners or the women in their lives, to be like, look, don't worry about all that strong black woman and everything. Do you think that will help to better, I would say, what I'm looking for? Like, if it would help your mental health, as in if it starts from us, as opposed to looking for it to be dismantled by, I don't know, like white people, for example.
I think obviously, there's a part to play for everyone. Do you get it? So I don't think it's just, I think it's a narrative that I feel like if we start breaking it down in ourselves, then naturally they also have to start breaking it down. But I think if we're acting like, oh no, but no, she's strong, and then we're carrying on that. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like, if we're carrying on that, like, I think already if we start doing it in our households, and then in terms of like right now, black women saying soft life, and then I think if black men are like, oh, what's that, man? Stop being strong.
No,
not you.
So I'm trying to get you.
No, not you. I don't say.
For those watching, listen, I didn't. When I said it, I didn't know. As in, I didn't know what it was. But
no. But do you get it? Or like, like what black women in like, I feel like if we start being okay with ourselves being like that, or like, even like, to me, even what you was just talking about black men always being strong. Like, I can be around certain white men and they just will be sitting at the dinner table and start crying.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, Angel, you're crying. Oh, that's so amazing. You just feeling a bit emotional today. Yeah. And then it's like, yeah. But for me as a black woman, I'm not used to that. So to see a black man just start crying at the dinner table, I'll be thinking, what the heck is going on?
When would this cry?
Like, I'll be like, why you cry? Do you get it? But if we start normalizing things like, oh, honey, you're just having a little tearful moment.
but you know what I think as well, yeah? I think he's even being allowed to just cry over just like, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be like, it's like big things. Like, for example, like, what you said about the whole soft life and black woman narrative. Like, for example, the strong black woman narrative wouldn't allow you to cry about, because you can't somehow prepare your son's school uniform.
Yeah,
it's stressing you out.
It's
but
so,
like, you're crying about uniform. You're crying about uniform.
It's because it's so mad. It's because it's like we know the struggles of certain things. So it's like, I guess it was a thing that was done in a way of like, there's so much more bigger things happening. So what's the point in crying over a school uniform? Yeah. But now
you should be allowed to, though. I'm gonna say,
because even I saw, like, it was this state when I saw it was like a breakthrough for me. I saw this white lady and she done this thing called what do you call it? All in, yeah, in exercise, and it's like something where she was she's so slim that they told her that you just eat anything you want, eat everything and anything to basically get her metabolism back to normal. So she started eating everything and anything. Yeah. This is on her choice because she wants to get her metabolism back. So she put on so much weight. Yeah. It wasn't so much, but she, compared to what she was, so she was like a size 4 and now she's a size 12. Yeah. So she had put on a lot of weight, and then she was just like at home and she was talking to camera because she's vlogging, and she was crying. And then her boyfriend came in and then was like, babe, why are you crying? And she was like, I just put on so much weight. And he was like, listen, it's fine. And I was like, what? Number one, you did this to yourself. Like, if it was anyone I know, they'll be like, any man that I spoke to, they'll be like, what are you crying for? Like, hey, this is what you wanted to do. They would be like, just come on, stop being silly. But he was so attentive, like, and just like, babe, I'm here for you. And I was like, here for her for what?
Yeah. But see, even with that though, but then that's even makes me think, because how would you then find that balance between not like over wrapping someone in cotton wool to the point where like you are actually being showing some sort of empathy? Because the thing is, if you take it as you're allowing people to cry or be sad about many things, people might think we're taking the extreme now. We've been a bit too, well, maybe we're overcompensating for this, trying to dry down this black woman, strong black woman narrative. Do you know what I mean? So how would you like? How can we find the balance?
I think pain is relative, isn't it? So it's not that you have to put someone in cotton wool. You can still say the same things, but it's just the way you're saying it. Do you get it? So if someone was crying and you felt like that was not really a reason to cry, you can still be like, oh, what's making you feel so sad? Like, oh, it's the ironing of the clothes, for example. And it's like, I just feel okay, but there's gonna be like, you just the way you say it, the way you would speak to that sort of. Do you get what I mean? I think that's the issue, because I feel like what the issue is that. So if a white woman was just crying, you'd be thinking, oh, she's just being emotional. But when it's a black woman, it's like, why are you doing? But no, we have emotions. We get sad. We feel that, like, we don't, but we sometimes have to just mask it because we've been taught that no, like, you don't do all of, like, you have to be a strong black woman.